All right, welcome to Take Note. I'm a professional writer and I love all things to do with analog paper. This is the Rhodia Square, or I think they call it the dot book. And I keep this notebook on my desk all the time. It's just kind of when things come up during my writing day and I'm working, I'll take notes there so I can get it out of my mind, but not be afraid I'm going to forget it. So if I'm working on my manuscript on the computer or an article for a magazine and something comes to my mind, I will draft it down on one of these pages and we then it's out of my head and I can focus on what I need to do. You can see the cover here. I love this. Oh, the reverse book, dot book. I guess they got it all going. The Rhodia dot book. And it's just a nice space on my desk to park my thoughts instead of getting distracted. Today, though, we're going to talk about a couple of pens that completely surprised me. I'm always looking for a deal, a way to enjoy my pens without breaking the bank. And I have not purchased a whole lot off Amazon. I had never purchased a Hong Dian, but I saw this on a feed maybe on Instagram, or maybe it was somebody else's post on YouTube, this Olive M2. It's called the Hong Dian M2 Mini Black Forest. And I thought, okay, well, that's kind of interesting. I like that olive green color. And what first attracted me about this pen is that they have a whole load of nibs and they have a cool finial. I'm not sure if you could see that. It's a cat shape on top. And it was a pocket pen. Now I have a Kaweco and blasphemy, I don't love my Kaweco. The nib is great. I'm gonna back up here and see if I can pull it out for you. The nib is great, but I don't like the feel in my hand, and I want to love it, and I just don't. I do have a traveler's notebook brass. I do love this pen. I'm going to do a video for you one day on that because I think it's undermentioned, and I don't get, uh, I don't hear people talking about it, and I love it. So you can see this is my Kaweco Sport, one of my first pens that I got. It's not inked up right now. The nib is awesome, um, but I don't like the way this feels in my hand. I don't like the shape of it. It feels lightweight. I mean, of course, I'm not worried about breaking it or hurting it because it's tough to throw in my bag, but it's not my style. I like the heavy metal of the brass. This is one of my go-to pens. But when I saw the Hong Dian M2 pocket pen with the cool cat finial, I mean, this stuff plays in, right? We got to have a little fashion sense. Uh, I thought, I'm going to give this a go. I like the clip. It's a solid clip, real easy to get under, but it stays real tight. I like the size of it. And this is made from aluminum. So it feels super smooth to the touch. It's even a little, it might be brushed. I mean, it's real soft under my hands, not plasticky, um, and not as heavy as the brass. But it's just got a really nice feel. You can see it's a little bigger than the brass. It's about the same as the Kaweco, maybe a little taller, but it's got a better feel to me. And it is a screw lid, screw cap, and it posts really nice. And when I do that, it doesn't feel too back heavy or too heavy in my hand. And I have real small hands, so even a pocket pen, if it's not the right one, can feel too weighty for me. I love this pen. I love the screw cap. I love the features. And one of the things that I found really interesting when I looked this up online, because I go online to just window shop, and of course I'm not going to buy anything. Instead, I came back with this puppy. Um, but one of the things that I liked is for 24 bucks, I think I paid 23.98 or something. They're between 23 and $25 for 24 bucks. I had a choice of a bunch of different nips. And that's something you don't see very much. You could get uh, fine, you could get a medium. So here's was the selection that I had when I was looking at it. And They also had a bent nib, fude, which is this. You can see, I'm not sure you can see that. Am I getting it in focus here? Maybe I need to go down a little bit. You see that at all? How it's there? Maybe you could see how it bends up at the tip. It's really a slight bend. It's really narrow at that end, but it looks like a hook. There you go. It looks like a hook. I'd never used a fude nib before. And, on this site, they call it the bent nib, and that's a perfect name for it. It comes out in a long needle and then bends at the end. And it is so fun to write with. You can, there's the reverse writing, get a nice thin, but even here, if I go all the way up, and this is Sailor Black in here, but if I go all the way up, I get a very thin line. And then if I go down at a slant, give me some degrees there, I get some great line. And it's soft. Like I'm not pushing too hard to get this. You don't have to work it, but it's just such a fun way to play with a new nib on on a pen that feels good in the hand and cost me 25 bucks. Then I can decide what I want to do next. I'm still learning. I think there's a lot to learn about fountain pens and nibs and filling systems and materials, caps, all of that. And it's not the only thing we're doing in our life, right? I mean, of course, it's the only thing I want to do in my life, but the reality is I have a kid, I have a job, I have all those things that you do too, and other interests as well. And so I want to be able to try different things out without breaking the bank to see if I like them, if it's something I want to learn more about. And I found the M2, the Hong Dian M2s. I got these on Amazon, are a really fun way to do that. And I'm surprised and happy with how well they write. I love the cap. I love the way it posts when I'm writing. It's solid, it's comfortable, lightweight, but not too light. It feels like a more expensive pen than it is. So I picked up the Fude Bent Nib pen and I used it for 2 weeks. And I thought, hmm. So then I went back online, some birthday money I had, and picked up the Lake Blue. You can also see the Hongdian there on the side. I'm not sure if the camera's picking this up. Can you see that right along here? Getting the weird, kind of weird shadow there. There we go. Okay. Hongdian on the side. This also has the gold finial reflected cat shape, which is fun. The brass or gold clip. So the features are obviously dramatically different. I've got matte black on this, goes nicely with the grain. I've got the gold on this, which looks great with this blue. They call this one Lake Blue. Seems to be appropriate, right? So what's interesting about this is I picked this one with a blade nib. So we have the fude and the olive, that's the blade, that's the fude and the bent nib or the bent nib. And this is a blade nib. See how long it is and how narrow it is at the end? And the effect, oh, excuse me, the effect, I've got Kompiki in here, Irishizuku, Kompeki, and I'm so proud of myself because I've been practicing how to say that. And I know, right? When I'm by myself, I say it just fine, but then I get a little nervous when I'm coming on camera. So this is the Konpeki, and this is the Lake Blue Hongdian Mini M2 pocket pen, aluminum body. And this is the Konpeki ink on the blade nib. This is a blast to write with. I like both of them. It's really been a fun exercise to practice, what learning to write and the different ways you can manage the pens when you're going. And it's a good way for 25 bucks or less to learn about these and to have fun writing. The nibs are so smooth. Rhodia paper is really smooth anyhow, but I've used this on MD paper, Traveler's Company, Tomoe River paper, all kinds of things in my notebooks that I have here. And it is just so fun to write with. Now, this is the blade nib. So when I go straight up here, I get a very, very narrow line. It's a little easier to get a narrow line out than it is with the bent nib. But look what happens when I take it down at an angle, when I put a little pressure. It's just got great lines. This ink is a great match for the color of the pen. It's beautiful to look at. It's pretty fun to play around with. And what's even more interesting to me is you can have a great experience learning about the hobby, writing your morning pages, putting whatever work in here, whatever ink you want in here for your work, and you can just have a great experience writing. This pen feels soft to the touch. I like the color in here, the I forget what it's called, but it's a sailor ink in black. And it just goes on so nicely. And I feel like to be able to get something you really enjoy without paying $1,000,000 is a super fun part of the hobby. Like you can have a great experience, learn about your pens, learn about the hobby without additional stress. And I'm telling you what, I love my brass. It was definitely more expensive than 25. It's Traveler's Company brass. And I don't have ink in it at this point, but it does take a cartridge. And these are both converter. Now they would take a short cartridge, so you could easily travel with these or do whatever you want. But they came with a converter, and I just filled them up. It's a very nice converter system. I think went in real easily and drew right up, and it was easy to get started from the beginning. The Hong Dian M2 Black Forest Mini. I'll put the links below. They're aluminum bodies with gold and black finial. You can see the cat better on the black one for sure, but it's kind of fun. I love the clips because they're not so tight that I can't get into them, but they're tight enough to hold on. And they have a bunch of nibs to check out. So I think it's a fun thing, fun way to experiment a little bit with your different nibs, but also these are an easy thing to throw in my purse or my pocket or my backpack and take on the road. And it looks cool with my Me Plus. But then I think everything looks cool with my Me Plus. So there you go. Thanks for watching. Take note. Please like and subscribe, and we'll keep it rolling here.